Hey everyone, it's TV dinner time. Kick your shoes off, get comfy. Today we're continuing our conversation or our episodes on The Boys Season 4. The first episode we talked about episodes 1 and 2. Today we're talking about 3 and 4. So if you haven't seen them, I'm giving you a heads up, giving you a spoiler warning before we get into it.
And if you can remind me, it's 8 episodes for this season,
8 episodes.
right? Okay. So because I was like, man, the fourth episode, like there's a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
but then they've like built the story, and I was like, man, they're like moving pretty quick. Where it's like, but I think
It
the
feels
boys is
slow
pretty
also though.
good. Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
Like it feels
I
like a
think
lot is going on, but it also feels like I guess it's a lot of build up. There hasn't been a lot of progression in episode 4 is what changed that.
I
Like
think
1,
so.
2, and 3, it seemed like okay, we're starting to get the foundation of like what's going on. It's very political. Uh,
Religious.
Butcher's doing his thing. Homelander's trying to take over the world still. Uh, Head Popper, I always forget that woman's name. Head Popper is trying to run for president. Like there was a lot of that building. And then these 2 episodes, more so 4, is when things really start shifting.
Yeah, it almost seems like like a lot of people, like especially in our own kind of like everyday history, like things built up until something broke, and
Yeah.
that's sort of that tension that you're feeling, almost like with episode 4. Like I think the dude that plays Homelander and how they direct a lot of Homelander scenes, he knows how to place the tension into
Hmm.
like everything until there's that crossing point where it's like, oh, now it's like crazy.
The funny thing is, every time I see him, I think he's the evil Bradley Cooper, but he's probably the nicest person in the world.
I know that's what sucks. He probably is like generally super nice and
Which is
everything.
crazy though. Like you watch movies, you watch TV shows, and there's always a character that you either love or hate. And you know that person, even though it's just a character they're playing, you know outside in the regular world, someone sees him and it's like, I hate you. And it's hilarious to like realize that.
I read about that because Patty loves Harry Potter, and the
Hmm.
guy that played Draco Malfoy
Oh, people
like
probably
interacts
hated
with
him.
people, and they're like, "Yeah, like I like hate
Yeah.
you," and he's like, "You know how to play that like that's a
That's not me.
character."
My name is Thomas. That's Draco. Who names their kid Draco?
But I don't know, man. I think he does a very good job. I hope he's able to find other things outside of like this character, because it's like once like the boys is done and Homelander's done,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very hard to kind of convey that like you're not a Homelander anymore.
He has to
Like,
do
it's
like
like
Negan. Because like Negan was Negan, but then now he's in this and he's a totally different character. So you have to latch on to your next big character somehow, some way. Because he's been in other
which
things, but
yeah, he has.
he's still just Homelander because that's his big role. Same with
And
you have to do the Bryan Cranston
yeah,
approach of
true,
like
true.
you're Malcolm's dad and then you do Breaking Bad, then you're Walter White, and then now he's just back to uh, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, like now we know everything about Bryan Cranston now
Yeah,
again. In there.
because he's in another show, but I don't know. I haven't watched the show. I think it's like Your Honor or something like that. I heard
Yeah,
it's
it's like
good.
he like his son like killed someone during I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah, it looks good too. It actually looks really good. But I like how we're getting more backstory with a lot
Hmm.
of these individuals, like not even
The
side
Homelander.
individuals. Homelander, like we kind of see that he was born in a lab and just like tortured until he
Hmm.
became Homelander, which sucks. And then it almost
Which is
humanizes Homelander, but
crazy.
then you're like, he's still a
No, like it.
douchebag.
Yeah, it did to a point. Then once he flipped and was like harming these people, then it's like, oh no, he's still a dick.
Yeah, in his own way too, where it's
Yeah,
like it progresses or prolongs the suffering. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, like you can take it to a different extreme. Like, and granted,
I
like
I
there's a lot of
love that the lady, the last person that he like tortured, he didn't hurt her, but he made her watch as he murdered a bunch of people. She was like, "You were strong enough to leave whenever you wanted." And just that realization of like, you just dealt with the pain just to deal with the pain, just to have a story later, is hilarious to me.
But that's a literal definition of like victim blaming, where
Hmm.
it's like, oh, like yeah, you're stronger than like
All of us.
thousands of us combined.
Yeah.
It's like,
We couldn't do
yeah, but
anything
I
to
was
you.
also
You just
9
dealt
years
with
old.
it. Also true. Because he didn't leave until he was what, like 17, 18 or something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They had all the
Because
notches on the column of his height. It's like, dude,
yeah,
what?
right. But then it kind of like also again it like it gives you a reason why he would feel jealous of his son,
Hmm.
because his son is him, but was born into a normal family, basically. Like
I can't say
has this
normal
kind of
family,
like
but partially
sort
normal
of, but
family.
like he wasn't given the early experiences as Homelander, so it's like
Yeah, he
it
wasn't
seems
in
like
a lab.
Homelander's like, oh, I have to like show you how life was for me,
Yeah.
even though we're like gods and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. This
Where do
yeah,
you
this series has been interesting.
Yeah. It's definitely, it feels different than the first three seasons.
Does it feel like they're coming to an end? Like that's sort of like what I'm
Somewhat.
thinking. It
Yeah.
almost kind of like looks like it's like tying a bow onto things, or at
Hmm.
least like ending like a little saga of the boys, and then maybe turns into something else. Or
It seems like, yeah, it seems like they made transition to focusing on Gen V, because they finally had a Gen V reference in episode 4, which was nice.
yeah, and that they're still hiding out. They still don't know where they are and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like, so in terms of like what you're talking about in the first episode or the first time we recorded, it's like where in the timeline are these
Yeah.
things placed? We kind of get a sense that this is
This
definitively
is
after
after. Hmm.
Gen V. So it'll be interesting if they show up like at the end or during this whole process. Sadly, it would be like the last like probably
Last
uh
episode, probably.
for the, but then also for that one guy from Gen V that died.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but it is like it does seem like, because it's like a powder keg. That's what I was trying to get to before. My mind was trying to get to that, where it's like it's almost like lighting the fuse to a powder keg, and you're kind of just waiting for that tension to kind of like build up until it bursts and stuff. And
Four, yeah, I think 4 was definitely that moment, or like the beginning of that moment, because of the whole Starlight and what's her face,
Firecracker,
Firecracker. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that altercation. It seems like
Yeah,
that's going to then have a ripple effect.
yeah, and it definitely already did a Starlight, where like the dude that's running for president is like, I can't talk to you anymore
Yeah,
because there's all this stuff. Even
you're
though
shunned.
I was so it was so surprising to like it happened in real life, and how they had that the evidence for Firecracker doing inappropriate things, and then she
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
with a
oh,
minor.
well, no one cares. It's
Yeah, that. Everybody just didn't bat an eye. Like she was like, "Release it, I don't care," and nobody cared. And then
she's
like a
like,
couple
no,
hours
don't
later,
release
she's
it,
fighting
vigilant.
Starlight. Yeah, she's fighting Starlight on national TV, or Starlight's beating her up on national TV, and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, we won't worry
Yeah,
about what you just posted on social media, but
yeah,
this,
come on.
you're
Like
hurt."
Starlight is putting it in front of our faces right
Hmm.
now.
Like this thing that's right here is what we're gonna focus on.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you, because Patty even asked me, or like we're trying to figure out like what happened to Butcher when he like blacked out and like exploded that stretchy dude.
It seemed like he had a situation like our guy from Gen V that like blacks out, or
Oh yeah,
he
that's
blacks out and
true.
sees puppets. He had one of those moments, and then he just wakes up and just a pool of blood. He's like, I don't know what just happened. That's kind of where my head went when that happened.
That did not even dawn on that. But yeah, there's that dude that like has like a weird, he like disassociates things,
Hmm.
and then almost kind of like wakes back up and like, oh crap, like
Like, oof, what did I do?
Yeah, but then it's like, all right, well, like if his body's able to, Patty thought the little things that's been swimming around his like
That
skin
worm?
like
Yeah.
came out of his eye and like destroyed that dude.
Oh.
But
No, because he would have some sort of like hole from where,
right,
unless it went
like
through his
something.
mouth or something, like the little girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So like I yeah, it's like I think they're gonna have a thing where like, oh, like he's actually not dying and everything, or
Yeah.
he
He
something
figured
happened.
out something. Like Hugh, like now we don't know what's gonna happen to Huey's dad
Yeah,
because
right.
they didn't
Like
really touch on that. It seemed like the V fell out his pocket. The mom shot it into the
little IV tube.
whatever. Yeah, the IV. There we go. That word.
Yeah.
And now we just don't know what's gonna happen with him.
So we both
Well, now
agree
he's
on that. The
healed.
mom gave it to him.
Yeah, it seemed like it
Yeah,
fell out of Huey's
that was
pocket, and the
yeah.
mom put it into the IV.
But she works for Vought, so it's like, does she have like an ulterior motive to like
Damn, I forgot she
put
worked for
these
Vought.
things into play? Like even though she was like, I have power of attorney, like he wants to die and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think she knew that Huey would kind of go this route, maybe.
yeah. I think it may be a manipulating thing. Like
It sucks.
Huey doesn't want to have any interaction with me, but we're starting to build this connection. Oh, he dropped V. If I bring his dad back, he'll love me even more. So, because Huey knows she was the one that had to do it, because he didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the side effects, like now Simon Pegg, the dude from Shaun of the Dead, is a superhero.
Hot Fuzz, yeah. It's still funny seeing him as like it's. I know it's a show, but Huey being his son because they don't seem very different in age or that much different in
That's
age.
true, right? Like, yeah, like it like he's probably like 10, 15 years older than him, bro.
Yeah, because like to know who like Huey's real life dad is Dennis Quaid, to like think of Dennis Quaid and Huey, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then to see Simon Pegg in him, it's like you guys can be friends. You guys can
Well,
work in
it's
an
like
office together.
it's Spider-Man with Tom Holland's character and his like Aunt
Oh
May and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. That is not Aunt. That's not a
Well, you
real
could
Aunt
have
May.
like a very young aunt and everything, but
That Aunt May still going to the club. Like that's not that's not the Aunt May we grew up with in the Sam Raimi Spider Man.
yeah, I know. But hey, it's funny because like we've totally been only talking about episode 4 because episode 4 is
Mm-hmm.
like action packed and everything.
Yeah,
There's a lot of moving pieces with that one. But I feel like there was a lot more
in episode 3.
secret moving pieces in episode 3 where it's like it's more of that Sage lady kind of like
Oh,
she's
she's
the
the
one
puppet
that
master.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
She's the one that controls the shots and everything and then has this weird like way of like
That
making
eyeball
herself
thing is crazy.
yeah.
That is crazy.
When I first saw that rod there, like when like
With the
her and
blood,
Beef
yeah.
are like making out, and then they show that, I was like, "What is that?" Like you
Yeah.
have no clue what the hell that is
Yes.
until
No context.
they explain it like 20 minutes later and stuff. Like, okay,
You're just sitting on the edge of your seat, like, what is this for? Like, please don't let it be something bad, and then it ends up being
yeah,
something bad.
yeah, like it is bad. Yes.
I wanted to ask you, the video game that Butcher and his son are playing. Would you play that game?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if that's a real game or not.
I'm not really. It's not a real game.
Okay.
But it almost kind of mimics like Mortal Kombat and
Tekken,
everything.
Mortal Kombat,
Like,
yeah.
I played Mortal Kombat when I was a kid and everything. Like me and my brothers had like a Sega Genesis, and like Mortal Kombat was like the game that my dad bought me, but then not show mom and everything. but I don't know. I'm always like 50-50 on fighting games because I truly
Okay.
suck at fighting games. So
Because
it's
that
like,
used to be my go-to as a kid.
yeah.
Like being an only child, like it was just me playing them. But then every once in a while, my dad and I would play them, and I would get super competitive. He would get super competitive, so we would go at it for hours. So those are my go-tos as a kid.
It might be something that we would I would have to because Patty loves them. Like she's been wanting to play Street
Fighter?
Fighter and all that
Yeah.
stuff and so. But you know what I got from that sequence? I don't know if you watched Mythic Quest on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like when they cut to the game that they're like showing. That's like totally what I got in my head, where it's like
Yeah, I didn't think about
it had
that.
that same kind of feeling where like it doesn't match the world that they're in, but then it's
Hmm.
like, all right, it's like a video game that they're trying to show off.
Dang, yeah, I did not think about that.
Yeah, that's okay in my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh,
In
what'd you
terms of
think of the fight scene with the rubber ducks and the bubbles?
when Frenchie is like tripping out and everything, like
Hmm.
literally is no help during the whole time.
Just bugged out, just like, huh?
I thought that was cool because it allows you to kind of like experience the fighting and like like I guess like it played off the gore and everything of what
Yeah,
was going on with
that
Kimiko.
it also reminded me of our guy from Gen V because they would cut to Muppets fighting and the Muppet blood coming out.
That is true, yeah, because it's like it's a good way to break the kind of violence and
Yeah.
everything, but still kind of convey the same thing. But then also like it goes back to that disassociation where that guy is like literally disassociating from what he's
Hmm.
doing. Frenchie just decided to
Frenchie
punch
just high as hell.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frenchie was just on one,
I'm
trying to deal
still
with his
very
demons.
surprised like how powerful Kimiko is. Like she
Oh
got
yeah.
like torn in half and everything,
Yes.
and then like all right, well, like 5 minutes later
Regenerated.
she's
Like,
fine.
oh hey. And then when she fell out the building too, and she's like, oh
Yeah,
hey, I'm back. Like, oh, oh.
I would be interested to know like is she like Deadpool, or like Deadpool has like tried to like end his own life many times
It doesn't work.
and can't. Yeah, he just can't and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like I wonder if like what literally needs to happen for her to like be done for.
What do you think is gonna happen between Frenchie and the guy he was interested in?
I was surprised that he told him. At the end,
Yeah.
Patty was like, "Oh, he's telling him. Like he's definitely gonna tell him." I was like, that kind of like I get it. Where like it's already kind of like episode 4, and so you're like halfway through the series or the season. Do you? I really don't think the dude's gonna be like, "Oh, like I really did love you and everything. I don't care that you killed my family." Like
I don't think so. I
I
think
don't
he's
think
gonna have
so.
like a revenge or be have like a vengeful uh return to the show.
Like to a point where like Frenchie is gonna have to kill him or be killed by him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's gonna be the outcome because I think he's gonna maybe try to harm Kamiko, possibly,
Or Starlight, yeah, just to
or
kind of like,
Starlight. Yeah,
oh yeah, you're like
yeah,
associated with Frenchie and stuff, and yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. I'm mad at you.
I know, right? But he's almost like Frenchie was like if you look at it, Frenchie must have been not much older than him
Hmm.
when he was like killing his family, right? Because
Yeah, because they're similar in age right
they're
now.
similar in age,
Yeah,
and so it's like so he's almost like Frenchie's like almost like the little girl from the the professional, where she was just a trained hitman
oh train.
at
Yeah,
the very young age and everything, and he's just there and all that stuff,
they
whatnot.
told me to do it. They gave me some money. I
But
didn't
then it
know who
goes
you
back to
were.
like the Vought people were like, we're just doing our jobs by placing you in the
Yeah,
oven and like seeing how much we can burn you.
we're seeing how strong you are. You're such a
Yeah.
strong guy. Like, all right, you know you were harming me. Come on.
It's crazy, but I don't know. How do you think this season ends?
Whew.
Or like, what are we like going towards?
It's definitely. I think it's gonna, like you were saying, a bow on the series. They may leave some sort of Easter egg for possibly a new series or a new show, or just find a way just to tie it back into Gen V so they continue that. Um, it's gonna be gory, is all I can see.
Yeah,
I can't see it not being gory.
episode 4 ended like that.
Yeah, and just thinking of how season 3 ended, like that was gory.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that one too, and it's like, yeah, it culminated to a very end of season 3, where like
Yeah.
everything kind of like just sprayed in blood and everything. So
Yes.
yeah, it's interesting. I think I know what happens in the comic books or like in the graphic novel in terms of
Hmm.
like Homelander, But I wonder, like, granted, they're not going to do the same exact thing as the graphic novel, so I wonder, like, how are they going to change it?
Only have a couple more episodes. We'll see.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, we may just kind of like have like the worst of it, where it's like, oh, you have to wait till season 5 and everything.
Wait another year.
Yeah. But yeah, so let us know if you watched episodes 3 and 4 of season 4 of The Boys. That was a very weird sentence. If you liked them, disliked them, what you think is going to happen in the future, because we know that the end has not come yet because they're still releasing these things. So the next time we record, we'll be recording for episodes 5 and 6. But yeah, let us know if you liked it, disliked it, and what you thought in the comments below. And please like and subscribe to Saturday Night Popcorn for more TV dinners like these.